Good evening and welcome everyone to GTRC's World Touring Car Championship Round 5 Spa-Francorchamps, the third stage of the European trip. Currently we are in the free practice. A few minutes till we get to the qualifying. Good filled grid at the moment. I think we have about 10 drivers. Maybe the one or other will join. DWT Hydra is making his debut for the Team Spirit squad. Tom Lipscomb is back for the Sunset Outrun squad. Kevin Hams in the second BMW M4 from Team Spirit. Jodo van der Speck back after his Spain trip. And the Team Championship leading Hyundai Genesis GR4. Alvin Ekström in the virtual driven exotics car. Currently the only one. I don't know if Joe Wiedenga is gonna make it tonight. Tom Holland, one of the guys we should have an eye on. In the currently only on the Edge Motorsport car. Logan Greatrex in the independent Hilux Subaru. Will Sutters, Championship P2 at the moment in the Volkswagen Scirocco, missing his teammate Josh Hunter. Sam Siltala currently in the pits in the only BNR car so far. And the second Hilux car championship leader, Aaron Shaheen. We will see if there's somebody in this grid tonight who can stop him. Sutters was close last week on Brands Hatch when he gave him a brilliant fight in race 1. And Tom Holland is the other guy who was able at Red Bull Ring in the wet to beat the Hilux cars. A late rain shower and a big puddle stopped him. But it seems that the guys are catching up a bit. Even if we see Silent Design and BNR with just one car tonight. Hilux in with both cars. What could make it possible that next week the team championship can be decided at Catalonia in round 6 of 8. The drivers championship, big lead for Aaron Shaheen. 59 points if I'm right. Will Sutters gained P2 in the championship. Van der Speck on P3, followed by Sam Siltala, just 1 point behind him. So P1 will be difficult to take, but the battle for P2 is still hot in this league. I think we're about to go for the qualifying. Excuse again if my Boeing 747 PlayStation 4 is a bit loud. Still over 30 degrees in Germany. 9 drivers at the moment. It's a bit unfortunate. The team championship could have been much closer. But Helix Racing is the only team who brought in 2 scoring cars each race, and this is the key. This is how B&R won last team championship. By far, because they were there every race. But of course we know it is summertime. People are on holidays. People enjoying the sun. And it seems that we have a little bit of trouble with starting the qualifying. It seems that someone is initializing. Might have a little delay in the end. Oh, another guy making his debut. I don't know who W20 is. But he's in the privateer car, I think, of Mies van der Koek. And yeah, qualifying has started. 15 minutes. Let's do a little onboard run to introduce the track with Van der Speck, the reigning champion, following Tom Holland. Now going into double gauche. Good catch, good catch. Difficult corner. The AstroTurf can really be pain for your car. Let's see if he will leave a gap. He's lifting a bit off. Holland brakes. And so clean track for Van der Speck now. First one to go on a flying lap. First heartbreaking point. Lesor's hairpin. Now full acceleration down to the legendary Rouge. Stayed fully on throttle. Now taking all the speed to Camel Straight. Into Lecombe. It is really, really funny how different the track is now compared to the layout we have here on Gran Turismo. Now Vandersbeck to double gauche. Good exit. A lot of work on the wheel for him. Now the only thing he has to do is getting good through Blochimont. The chicane is important too. Can lose a lot of time on a bad exit. This was a good one. Clock is stopping on a 2:27.284. This will be the first benchmark. 1.26 seconds faster than DW2 Hydra on his debut. Pine had a really bad lap. Hams with a 2:30. Shaheen currently on P2 with a 2:27.410, followed by W20 on his debut. Lipscomb is the next one. It seems that the guys had a lot of trouble on their first flying lap. Siltala 1.5 behind the pole. Usually a really good qualifier. And Spa is a long track. You don't get that much fast laps. Tom Holland again a bit wide. With a penalty, will not improve on this lap, but still 10 minutes to go, or about 10 minutes. Don't think that Vandersbeck can improve. Oh, 1.5 off. Shaheen on a fresh set of tire. Leaving space to W20, who's on the next fast lap, followed by Shaheen, but a penalty for W20. So definitely not improve. Sutters made his first flying lap with a 2:28.5. 1.3 off Vandersbeck. but improving. Let's stay with him. Currently almost 1 second faster than before, which should bring him to P3. And currently he's on 5 because W20 is in the pits. Let's see what Sutters can do. And it is a 2:27. 4/10 down to Van der Speck. A big improvement on his second lap. So if he goes for another fresh set of tires, he might get in range of the front row. W20 on his outlap. Hydra on his outlap. Same with Siltala. Tom Holland. Let's see if he's improving. Following Ruben Cereo, who might be on his first flying lap as well, but let's stay. Both with a penalty. Cereo was on his outlap anyway, but this penalty will cost him. Great drags, spectacular. After the exit of Brussels. Still with the penalty. The track limits are difficult at Spa. And we see big gaps in the grid. P7, Tom Lipskamp. 3.5 seconds to P1. And a second to Tom Holland, who's following him. Kevin Hams is close to Lipskamp, but then it's 1.7 to Sam Siltala in the BNR car. Hydra is leaving a good impression in the BMW. Currently on P5, while Sutters is in the pits. W20 going to his flying lap. Big compliment to the team spirit guys. Bringing in 3 drivers tonight, and 2 of them are reserves for the original lineup. So shout outs to them to keep the grid full. Way to sector 2, still a long way to go, but seeing no purple sector after the Camel Straight is not saying much. Sector 2 shows if this is a good lap or not. Little drift at the entry of the corner. Now we're going to the sector line. improving. But he has to find a little bit more time to attack Sutters and the Helix drivers. But we're gonna stay with him. Final chicane. Traction is good on the four-wheel driven Subaru WRX. And he jumped Sutters by 400. P3 for W20. Closing the gap to Shaheen and Van der Speck. Both on a flying lap now. Van der Speck currently on pole. Went wide. Would be surprised if we get a purple sector. Nice. Slowing down. Maybe waiting for Shaheen to give him slipstream. It is the final lap for everyone in this qualifying. There's Lipscomb in front of Shaheen. Penalty to burn. Oh, Shine is not improving. Sutters now on a flying lap. Seems that he was a bit wide at Blanchimont, but there's no penalty popping up, so it should be fine. But no improvement. Silsala making his way to the final chicane. Improved by almost half a second, but no position gained. No one on a flying lap anymore. No, we're fine. So, pole position for Jotto van der Speck, the reigning champion. Let's go with Hydra for the start. Hope that we can avoid the camera glitch. So the lights are on. Okay. This is looking absolutely scuffed. But I think we had a start. And chaos in La Source. Seems that Great Rex was involved. Seemed that he was a little bit late on the brake. Lipscomb, Hydra, and Holland seem to be involved too. Great Rex making his move. And Threo got punted off track. It seems that it was Kevin Hams. Top of the grid is championship leader Aaron Shaheen, followed by W20 and his teammate Jordo van der Speck. P4 at the moment, Logan Great Rex, followed by Kevin Hams, Will Sutters, Sam Siltala, Tom Holland. Ruben Serrao dropped far back. DWT Hydra on P9 at the moment. And Tom Lipskamp on P11. But we're missing Ekström. He was in the practice. I haven't seen a lap from him in the qualifying. Sorry for the camera switches, but someone, we should get the TV cam. Shaheen is trying to get away from W20. Who's currently followed by Van der Speck. Kevin Hams, Will Sutters, Logan Great Rex on his rear. Good exit from Van der Speck to Radion. Lipskamp left the lobby. He's getting ready for an attack. Was a bit too big. But these two guys escaped a bit, 2 seconds to Kevin Hams. And it seems that the Helix guys are trying to do everything to decide the team championship as soon as possible. Hams is not able to follow and is feeling the pressure from Sutters. Now we're getting some action from the view of Kevin Hams when Van der Speck and W20 going side by side. But there's the move from Sutters to the inside. The lightweight Scirocco really good on the brakes. And Sutters made the move on the inside. Looked pretty easy. And is now trying to get back to the top 3. Definitely has the pace. But maybe Kevin is going for a move in the chicane. Was not close enough to really attack. And Van der Speck made his move on P2 now. W20. I think he could not defend in the chicane. And Sutters gained 4/10 to the guys in front of him. But now in Sector 1 he will lose time. The Scirocco is not the best car on top speed. And the Hyundai Genesis and the WRX are absolutely speed beasts. Siltala followed by Great Rex, while Ruben Serrao is trying to get back at the front. DWT Hydra after a good impression in the qualifying. Now in trouble by Tom Holland. Had to go wide in Lecombe. 2-second penalty for that. And a bad exit. Holland made it on the inside. So a lot of action on track now. Great Rex went right. That gives Rayo the chance to close up. Latest on the penalty burn zone. He will make the pass. And Siltala catched up. Oh, something happened to Sutters. Siltala is really close to Sutters now. And Hams is back on P4. Sutters going to the pits. Early stop for the Scirocco. And W20 took his second position back from Jordo van der Speck. And Aaron Shaheen, 4.5 seconds gone. We're now getting into pit stop region. Van der Speck, half-second penalty. And in the GR4s, the penalties cost a lot more than shown on screen. But before we saw every pit stop, it seems that the top three are sorted. Had a bit of hope for Will Sutters to get back there. But off stream, something happened to him that cost him a lot of time and a position. Siltala now closing up to Kevin Hams. Is he going for a move or waiting till he has to burn his penalty? Going for a good exit. And now the burn zone drops him back. And now we can see how much time you lose on a penalty. So he had half a second penalty and is still losing time. More than 1.5 seconds. This is how big the disadvantage is. And now the rest is going to the pits. Really long pit lane. And let's have a look at Sutters, on what position he comes out. And if his little undercut worked. He was on P5 before the stop. and is on P4. Jumped Kevin. I don't know what took Kevin so long on the pit stop, but he lost position against Sutters. And W20 is close to Shaheen. Yeah, he haven't changed the tires. This is saving you about 6 seconds. And this will cost you a lot more in the end. This is a strategy we saw a few times from Oscar Guerrea last season. And it worked on top speed tracks. But Spa has too many technical parts to work out in the end. Vandersbeck, 5.5 seconds behind. Clean air and fresh tires. And currently no worries about Will Sutters, who's 3.5 seconds behind him. Sutters 2-second gap to Siltala. Siltala 2.5 second gap to Kevin Hams, who might get under pressure soon by Ruben Cerreo. Great Rex is getting under pressure from Tom Holland, who has not the best race. DWT Hydra trying to keep contact, currently on personal best. And we have the TV cam. Thank you for that, Gran Turismo. So we should get better pictures now on the fight for P1. So we'll see how good W20 is on tire management. Still 4 laps to go. Vandersbeck already catched up 1 second. Gap to Sutters shrinked about half a second. Siltala catched up a bit. And Cerreo made his move. Jumped Kevin Hams. And Tom Holland passed Great Rex. DWT Hydra in the Team Spirit M4 catching up to both of them. Could be a nice fighting trio in the end. Shaheen and W20 still fighting. So he's feeling the pressure, but is W20 feeling his tires? I think the key for Shaheen is now to get him out of slipstream range. This is what always brings W20 back, and you see it here. The massive power of the WRX combined with slipstream. And Shaheen went wide. And what we saw before the pit stops is now turning out to a really, really nice race in the end, because the gaps are really shrinking. We have W20 with 1.2 seconds in front of Şahin after the mistake. Van der Speck 2.2 behind. He was 5 behind after the pit stops. Now it's 3.3. Sattas is catching up. Siltala is trying to get in contact, and if Sattas and Siltala could work together, they might get into podium range. Ruben Thoreo showed us the great features Gran Turismo 7 brings with it. Currently escaping from Kevin Hams. And Şahin catched up. And you see on the tire advantage, the drop is really big in the end. And now he's wide. Şahin made the move. Slipstream again for W20. Van der Speck still 2 seconds behind. But W20 is in trouble now. And you see it on the exit. Van der Speck gained 4/10 just in the final chicane. A little dive bomb by W20. But lifted off. Oh. And that brings Jordan Van der Speck in slipstream range. Let's see this from the onboard. Şahin on the defensive line. And you see the traction of the WRX, the four-wheel drive. But now there is a champion on his rear. And this should be the trio that will decide race 1 at Spa. Now Van der Speck is absolute close, trying it on the outside, searching for a good exit. Şahin is keeping it clear. He should be now far away to avoid any danger by W20. And Van der Speck's nose is in his gearbox, going to the inside line. And made the move. Hard defending on the brakes, and W20 went wide, picked up half a second penalty, and the final lap has started. So Şahin and Van der Speck look pretty secured at the moment. W20 might get in trouble from Sutters after his slowdown penalty. Siltala still on the rear. Thoreo, great comeback after his incident with Kevin Hams. Holland this time a bit slower than we expected. Great results in the past rounds. Both BMWs in a nice fight. Hydra passed Hams. And now Hams is trying to get the position back. Hydra went wide, should be a penalty. And Great Rex on P10. This seems pretty sorted. And now it's a 1 second penalty. He's really struggling on tires. And there is Sutters on P3. Siltala passed him. And Thoreo passed him. W20's tires are gone. And this is what we said. If you don't change tires, you get trouble on such a tough track like Spa-Francorchamps. Siltala wide on the exit. Gives Ruben Thoreo the opportunity to attack. Better top speed for the Subaru. And Siltala wide. Congratulations, Aaron Shaheen. Will Sutters on P3, Ruben Thoreo P4, Sam Siltala P5. Tom Holland will get P6. Kevin Hams P7. Hydra on P8. Oh, W20 underfueled. He's out of fuel. That's why he's slowed much. Another victory by Aaron Shaheen. 1 and 2 for the Helix guys. Will Sutters with another podium on the Scirocco. So now I'll leave you alone with the pictures of qualifying 2. Be back in about 5 minutes. Quick refreshing break. And see you then. And here we are back. Right on time for the first flying laps. Tom Holland should be the first one to complete his lap for the second qualifying. But what a race one. We got way more action than we expected before the pit stops. Drama in the end with W20. And Tom Holland is crossing the line with a 1:29.9, while Van der Beek immediately set 2:27.212. Same level as his qualifying one. Now Hydra is making his way to the finish line at 2:30. Siltala's first lap is a 2:30 as well. Great Rex with the penalty. Invalidated lap. W20 now in the final chicane. Crossing the line with a 2:28. Jump Pine. 1 second down to Van der Beek. Ham's going back to the pits. Sutter's on his first flying lap. Shaheen currently purple, but let's stay with Thutters. It's much closer to the finish line. And he's crossing the line with a 2:28. Jump W20 by half a tenth. Shine still purple. We are still not at the sector 2 line, but he is, and he's on his way to an absolute banger lap. This is 2:26 level. Good final chicane. On his way to the finish line with a 2:26.588. Absolute impressive, showing why he's reigning this championship at the moment. So P1 to 3 currently in order. While I said this, Hydra jumped Sutters, who's on a penalty and should not improve this lap. Great Drags add the penalty on this lap. Just setting a time that counts. Kevin with a penalty on his out lap, not a big problem. Thurio currently on his first flying lap. Sutter's leaving him the space to get past. Going to the final chicane. Looking good, looking at 228 level, 227. Jumped Siltala by half a second, who's currently maybe 5th. It's hard to say, but now they are all on track. And if they pass the first sector line, we'll see them in order. Shahin seems happy with his time, not going for another lap. Van der Speck went for it, but is not improving. Hydra on an out lap. Should not be able to do another flying lap. But as we see Hydra, W20 seems to be in the pits because we see him on track. But as I think that Hydra was on P3 before and is now behind Ruben Thureo. This should be the right order. I think we are close to the start. Thureo improving again. Can he catch up to Van der Speck? And Thureo jumped Van der Speck. P2 for him. And race 2 is starting. Jumping start from Thureo and from W20 in the four-wheel driven cars. But Van der Speck could defend his P3. W20 now under pressure from DWT Hydra. Yeah. Again. A little push there by Siltala to Great Rex. And Tom Holland not going for a move. It seems that he's waiting for Carnage, trying to collect the pieces, getting under pressure from Sutters, who of course struggled on his start with the front-wheel driven car. Now attacking Holland, inside move. This Scirocco has such a good cornering. So the grid is currently split in two groups of 5 cars. We have Ruben Serreo, followed by Aaron Shaheen, followed by Jordo Van der Speck, W20 and DWT Hydra in the front. Pretty close together. Then a 2-second gap to Great Rex, Siltala, Sutters, Holland. Siltala made his move on the inside. Great Rex went wide to the AstroTurf. Lost 3 positions. And getting pressure from Kevin. And this should be Sutters who went wide there. I don't know if there was contact. And late braking maneuver from Great Rex. Doesn't seem that there was contact from behind from Kevin. Tom Holland was the victim. And Siltala closing the gap to Hydra. Yeah, Great Rex saying sorry, so obviously there was no contact from behind. It was just a really late braking maneuver. Unfortunate for Tom Holland. W20 passed Aaron Shaheen, who might have a penalty because Van der Speck passed him too, and Hydra on his rear. A little bit of contact here. Hydra's performance in the BMW is impressive. The vice champion who's supposed to drive this car, Oscar Correa, is struggling this season with it. But in the early stages of the race and in the qualifying, Hydra showed that there is potential in the car. I mean, we saw it last season when Van der Speck won the Drivers' Championship on it. Shaheen is losing a bit the contact to W20. Serreo and Van der Speck in the infight. Fastest lap by Van der Speck. Definitely an absolute expert on Spa-Francorchamps. We're getting closer to the pit window, and we definitely have a close look on W20's pit stop. If he's going for his risky pit strategy again. While Hydra is now losing contact to the 4 guys in front. Siltala and Sutters, the both front-wheel driven cars, close together. We'll stay with Sutters. Watching if he's going for the undercut again. Could be a good option. Or he's doing it on track. Waited for the little mistake of Siltala. Went to the inside and took P5. While W20 is now in front. We see with the gap that Hydra made his way back to the top 5 group and into the rear of Aaron Shaheen. Undercut attempt by W20 and Sutters is going for it again. I don't know why Shaheen got a penalty there, because obviously he got sent off track. And the undercut attempt from W20 can be really worth, because if Vandersbeck, Shaheen, Hydra and Sereo keep fighting and not have their best in laps, W20 is now out of the pits. Fresh tires. And there's definitely enough fuel in the car. Maybe a bit too much. But I think he played it safe this time. But we will see how good or bad the actual pit stop was when we saw Vandersbeck, Sereo, Shaheen and Hydra in the pits. Shaheen will now be forced to burn his penalty, and the in-lap of Sereo and Vandersbeck seems pretty fast because Sereo is currently on PB. Shaheen stayed in front of Hydra. Siltala still in range. So W20 will be the guy to watch. first to the grid who already pitted. I don't know where the sound of gravel comes from. So Hydra back on track. Seems that he came out first. And W20 in the middle. And Hydra jumped everyone in the pits by not changing the tires. And if I can say you one thing, not changing it on the BMW is even worse than not changing it on the WRX. W20 against Van der Speck. A little bit of contact there. Siltala and Sutters are close to be back. Then we have a big gap to Holland and Hams and Great Rex. Long time ago that we saw a BMW M4 in the lead, but DWT Hydra is making it possible. W20 flashing the lights. A little bit early in my opinion. There it is, inside move from W20 against DWT Hydra. Van der Speck and Shaheen losing a bit the rear. Both cars in the lead. Van der Speck, inside move. Shaheen also made it. But Shaheen on a half-second penalty. And Thereo with the overtake against Hydra. And I think he realized really early that not changing the tires was not the best strategy in the end. Because Sutters and Siltala will eat him alive in a few laps. But after this situation, W20 made a 1.5 second gap. That will increase because Van der Speck, the first guy in the hunt, is on a half-second penalty. So W20 now on a working strategy. Might be the first non-Helix driver to win a GTRC WTCC race in this season. But there's still 3 long laps to go. And Hydra is chased by Sutters in the slipstream, trying to make it round the outside with the good cornering of the Scirocco. Brilliant maneuver from Sutters. We had a perfect view from the onboard, but on the inside line. But now he made it. Hydra is not letting him go. But now Siltala has the better line. Brilliant exit. And much more grip. Up to P6 for him. Shine struggling a bit. Van der Speck now has to burn his penalty. Will bring him out of slipstream range. Shine on the attack, made the move against Van der Speck, and with a 2.5 second gap, W20 is with 2 laps to go on his way to his maiden victory. Then we have Shine, Van der Speck and Cereo in a nice little train, followed by Sutters, Siltala and Hydra. In the back of the grid we have Holland on not his best day in a lonely race. Same for Hams. And Great Rex is really struggling in the second one. Can they catch up to W20? The gap is shrinking, but it's not shrinking much. Siltala 3 seconds down. Will not be able to take part in the podium race. Same for Sutters this time. WT Hydra is doing really, really well on the worn tires. I definitely have to say. He will not be able to attack, but I expected him to lose more time. Final lap. 1.8 down. And Shaheen has to nail this one to get in slipstream range to Blanchimont. But the impression for me is that W20 is too strong to lose this gap on one lap. He learned from his mistake in race 1. One and a half second now. But even if he gets in slipstream, beating the WRX on the straight is even difficult for the Hyundai Genesis. Now it's 1.1. 1.3 again. Shaheen on PB is trying everything to get in range, while Ruben Cerrejo jumped Jodo van der Speck on the final lap. But now W20 is on his way to the final chicane. Aaron Shaheen not close enough to do an attack. No mistake for W20 in the end. And the victory for him, Aaron Shaheen, P2, Ruben Cerrejo, P3, Jodo van der Speck, P4, Sam Siltala, another great result with P5. Hydra could jump Will Sutters on the final lap with P6, P7 for Sutters. Tom Holland, P8. And Kevin Hams in the other Team Spirit M4 will finish on P9. And we can consider in race 10 the Halex guys are beaten. 20. It was absolute impressive racing in the end, especially by the top guys. And awesome to see that W20, of course if you are new in the league, you don't know the settings, you don't know can it work with a non-tire change, is the fuel enough? But he learned from the mistake and showed on an impressive way that he can beat even the top guys in this league. Would be nice to see him maybe a few times more. The season is quite long to go. So, see you next week in Spain, Circuit de Catalunya. Good night, everyone.